Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin wa bihi nasta'inu ala umuri dunya waddin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asrofil anbiya'i wal mursalin sayyidina wa maulana Muhammadin sallallahu alaihi wasallam wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajmain. Amma ba'du. Ladies and gentlemen, how are you today? I'm pretty well. I hope you in good condition and happy situation as well. Okay, today I'd like to talk about national examination, especially in English, and especially again about the students' perspective about this national examination. Here I am representing the article from Budi Zubaidi. From Nanang Zubaidi and Budi Tiara Novitasari. In this talk, I'd like to talk about first the weakness of the national examination, and the second or the last is about what the national examination should be. Yeah. First is the weakness of national examination. As we know that national examination has many weakness than the benefits, so that this national examination doesn't exist anymore in Indonesia. The first weakness of English national examination is that national examination has failed to assess the learning access to a whole. I mean that the national examination is just 2 hours, but the learning process is 3 years. This makes the national examination has failed to assess the learning process as a whole. Then the next weakness of English national examination is that national examination does not encourage the students to acquire the language, the English as a language. I mean that in national examination, the student just encouraged to mastery the passive skill rather than the active skill. In national examination, students are encouraged to mastery reading and listening skill, but national examination doesn't encourage students to active in speaking and writing. And the last weakness of national examination is that national examination is difficult to prove the validity of exam result. Why? Because as we know, there are many national examination key trading and questions trading. In other hand, the students are acknowledging that they are not difficult to cheat in the classroom because the teacher doesn't work their job, so the students can easily cheat in the classroom. That's the weakness of English national examination. Then the next is about what national examination should be. Okay, the first is national examination should using process-based assessment. Yes, I mean that the national examination should be considered as well as the national examination. The daily assessment should be considered as well as national examination in the graduation. And the next is considering students' daily report or progress report. Yeah, it should be considered because the learning process in 3 years is should be considered, then rather than just consider the national examination as the determination of graduation. And the next is evaluating students for language skills. Yeah, as I thought that in the national examination is just examine to skill, but actually in the English there are 4 skills that students must be evaluated. Then the next, what should a national examination should be is that national examination should evaluate students' current language mastery. I mean that what student learn in the class is should be examined in the national examination, but the fact is that what are appearing in the national examination is the student don't learn in the class. It is ironic. And the next is that national examination should consider school and students' condition and facilities. Yeah, we are all know that different school, different facilities, so that it makes different qualities. And the last is that national examination not as the only consideration. I mean that the determination of graduation is not only the national examination, but this is also must be considered. What is that? First, the daily progress or learning process, that is must be considered. Then the assessment from teacher also must be considered. The third is the semester exam, that is also must be considered as the determination of graduation. And the last is practice exam covering 4 English skill. Yeah, so that's 4 addition to determine the graduation, not only the national examination. Okay, so that's all for me about the weakness and what should national examination should be. Thank you for your attention, and I'm sorry for my mistake. Akhirul kalam, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.